Our focus today centers on a specific apparatus of influence, often accused of being a sophisticated propaganda machine, Hasbara. We will delve into its historical context, unraveling its origins and evolution over time. From social media manipulation to the dissemination of carefully curated narratives, we will leave no stone unturned in our quest to understand the inner workings of this controversial operation. Our objective is not to indict or exonerate, but to provide you, the viewer, with the tools to critically evaluate the information presented to you. By understanding the tactics and strategies employed in this alleged propaganda campaign, we can become more discerning consumers of information, capable of separating fact from fiction and forming our own informed opinions. Over the decades, Hasbara has evolved into a sophisticated and multifaceted operation, leveraging a vast network of individuals and organizations to project its message globally. From government ministries and diplomatic missions to nonprofit organizations and private individuals, the network of actors involved in promoting Israel's narrative is extensive and interconnected. One of the key strengths of Hasbara lies in its ability to mobilize grassroots support, engaging individuals both within Israel and abroad to advocate on its behalf. The advent of the digital age has significantly amplified Hasbara's reach and influence. Social media platforms, in particular, have become crucial battlegrounds for shaping public opinion, with dedicated teams and individuals actively engaged in promoting pro-Israel content, engaging in online debates, and countering dissenting voices. The use of hashtags, viral campaigns, and targeted advertising has further amplified their message, reaching a global audience with unprecedented speed and efficiency. At the heart of Hasbara's alleged propaganda machine lies a calculated approach to shaping public perception through disinformation campaigns. These campaigns, often meticulously planned and executed, aim to disseminate carefully constructed narratives that serve to advance a specific agenda, often at the expense of objective truth. One of the hallmarks of these campaigns is the strategic use of misinformation, presenting fabricated or distorted information as fact. This can take various forms, from outright lies and fabricated stories to the selective omission of crucial context, all designed to mislead the audience and manipulate their understanding of events. These disinformation campaigns often target specific events or issues, particularly those deemed sensitive or critical to Israel's image. For instance, during periods of heightened conflict, there have been allegations of Hasbara operatives spreading false narratives about the actions of opposing parties, exaggerating casualties, or attributing blame to deflect criticism from Israel's own actions. The effectiveness of these campaigns often hinges on their ability to exploit existing biases and prejudices.
In today's digital age, social media platforms have become the new battlegrounds for shaping public opinion. Hasbara has been accused of utilizing these platforms to disseminate its message and counter dissenting voices. Recognizing the power of social media, Hasbara's alleged propaganda machine adapts its strategies. One key tactic is the use of bots and fake accounts, creating an illusion of widespread support. These automated accounts flood social media with pro-Israel content, drowning out opposing viewpoints.
Astroturfing, a deceptive tactic employed to create an illusion of grassroots support for a particular agenda, features prominently in accusations leveled against Hasbara. This strategy involves masking the true source of support, making it appear as though a groundswell of public opinion organically backs a specific narrative or policy, when in reality, it is a carefully orchestrated campaign. One common astroturfing tactic involves creating fake online personas or utilizing existing social media accounts to promote pro-Israel content and engage in discussions under the guise of being ordinary citizens. These seemingly authentic voices often praise Israel's actions, condemn its critics, and attempt to sway public opinion subtly. Moreover, Hasbara has been accused of organizing staged rallies or protests, bussing in supporters and providing them with pre-made signs and slogans to create the impression of widespread public backing for a particular policy or action. These staged events are often covered by media outlets, further amplifying the message and lending it an air of legitimacy. The insidious nature of astroturfing lies in its ability to deceive the public by exploiting their trust in genuine grassroots movements. In information warfare, controlling the narrative is paramount. Hasbara employs selective reporting and image manipulation to present a curated version of reality. These tactics highlight supportive information while downplaying contradictory details, creating a distorted picture. Selective reporting, or cherry-picking, emphasizes events that support a viewpoint, ignoring others. Hasbara focuses on Palestinian violence, downplaying similar acts by Israelis. This creates a skewed perspective, misleading audiences. Image manipulation evokes specific emotional responses, reinforcing narratives. Emotionally charged imagery sways public opinion effectively. The term Pallywood, a derogatory portmanteau of Palestinian and Hollywood, emerged in the early 2000s, alleging that Palestinians stage events to garner international sympathy and portray Israel negatively. While many instances of violence against Palestinians are real, the Pallywood accusation is a powerful tool in Hasbara's arsenal. The case of Mohammed al-Dura exemplifies the challenges of discerning truth from propaganda. Israel-Hamas war provides a compelling case study of Hasbara's alleged efforts to control the narrative through media management. During the conflict, Israel faced widespread international condemnation for the high number of Palestinian civilian casualties and the destruction of infrastructure in Gaza. In response to this criticism, Israel implemented a sophisticated media strategy aimed at shaping international perceptions of the conflict. This strategy involved restricting access for foreign journalists to Gaza, controlling the flow of information, and disseminating its own narrative through carefully curated press releases, briefings, and interviews with government officials. Israel argued that these measures were necessary to protect journalists from harm and prevent Hamas, the Islamist militant group that controls Gaza, from exploiting media coverage for propaganda purposes. However, critics accused Israel of attempting to control the narrative by limiting independent reporting and suppressing images that could tarnish its image. The Committee to Protect Journalists, an independent watchdog organization, criticized Israel's restrictions on media access during Operation Cast Lead, stating that they hindered independent coverage of a major news event. The term Israel Lobby refers to a coalition advocating for pro-Israel policies, particularly in the United States. Its influence and tactics often lead to accusations of anti-Semitism. Critics argue it stifles debate and pressures policymakers. Accusations of anti-Semitism create a chilling effect on free speech. The book The Israel Lobby and U.S. Foreign Policy ignited controversy. Authors were accused of promoting anti-Semitic tropes. They maintained their work was a legitimate critique. This debate highlights the challenges of discussing the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The 2014 Gaza war saw unprecedented social media activity, with both sides using these platforms to spread their narratives. Accusations of social media manipulation by pro-Israel actors emerged, raising concerns about disinformation. Critics alleged the use of bots and fake accounts to amplify pro-Israel messages and drown out dissenting voices. These automated accounts flooded platforms with pro-Israel hashtags, retweeting messages from officials. Allegations of coordinated efforts to manipulate trending topics made it appear as though pro-Israel messages were organically gaining traction. This raised concerns about shaping public perceptions and influencing international reactions to the conflict.
The Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions (BDS) movement countering global activism with disinformation. The BDS movement, launched in 2005, pressures Israel to comply with international law and end its occupation of Palestinian territories. It advocates for boycotts of Israeli products, divestment from companies complicit in the occupation, and sanctions against Israel. Israel and its supporters view it as a threat and have launched efforts to counter its message. This includes public relations campaigns, lobbying for anti-BDS legislation, and accusations of anti-Semitism. Critics argue this silences dissent and shields Israel from accountability.
Section 1. Shaping Perceptions, Shaping Reality, the Impact on Public Opinion. Propaganda subtly manipulates perceptions, shaping how individuals interpret events and form opinions. It creates a distorted reality where facts are malleable, and critical thinking gives way to emotional responses. In the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Hasbara tactics have shaped public opinion, especially in Western countries. By promoting a particular viewpoint, Hasbara creates a climate where Israel's actions are viewed sympathetically, while Palestinian perspectives are marginalized. Disinformation campaigns have inflicted significant collateral damage on the fabric of trust that binds societies together. Repeated exposure to false information erodes trust in institutions, experts, and each other. This erosion creates cynicism, skepticism, and polarization. Conspiracy theories flourish, facts become subjective, and dialogue is hampered. Propaganda thrives, exploiting divisions it creates. In the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, disinformation contributes to mistrust, making peace more daunting. The responsibility to combat propaganda falls upon each of us. We are on the front lines, bombarded daily with messages designed to shape our perceptions. We must become discerning consumers of information. Critical thinking is our greatest weapon. Question everything. Seek out diverse perspectives and verify sources. Engage in respectful dialogue and challenge misinformation with evidence. Foster understanding and promote informed public discourse.